Hi guys, my name is Jamie, and today we're going to be reading Job 4 through 8. So if you like, go grab your Bibles and read along with me. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered, "If one ventures a word with you, will you become impatient? But who can refrain from speaking? Behold, you have admonished many, and you have strengthened weak hands. Your words have helped the tottering to stand, and you have strengthened feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Remember now, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the upright destroyed? According to what I have seen, those who plow iniquity, and those who sow trouble harvest it. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they come to an end. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions are broken. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the whelps of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was brought to me stealthily, and my ear received a whisper of it. Amid disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when the deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me in trembling, and it made all my bones shake. Then a spirit passed by my face. The hair of my flesh bristled up. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice. Can mankind be just before God? Can a man be pure before his Maker? He puts no trust even in his servants, and against his angels he charges error. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed before the moth. Between morning and evening they are broken in pieces. Unobserved, they perish forever. Is not their tent cord buckled up within them? They die yet without wisdom. Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? And to which of the holy ones will you turn? For anger slays the foolish man, and jealousy kills the simple. I have seen the foolish taking root, and I have cursed his abode immediately. His sons are far from safety. They are even oppressed in the gate, and there is no deliverer. His harvest the hungry devours, and take it to a place of thorns. And the schemer is eager for their wealth. For affliction does not come from the dust, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. For a man is born for trouble, as sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek God, and I would place my cause before God, who does great and unsearchable things, wonders without number. And he gives rain on the earth and sends water on the fields, so that he sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He frustrates the plotting of the shrewd, so that their hands cannot attain success. He captures the wise by their shrewdness, and the advice of the cunning is quickly thwarted. By day they meet with darkness, and by group at night is in the night. But he saves from the sword of their mouth, and the poor from the hand of the mighty. So the helpless has hope, and the unrighteousness must shut its mouth. Behold, how happy is the man whom God reproves. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty, for he inflicts pain and gives release. He wounds, and his hands also heal. From 6 troubles he will deliver you. Even in 7 evil he will not touch you. In famine he will redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You will be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, and you will not be afraid of violence when it comes. You will laugh at violence and famine, and you will not be afraid of wild beasts. For you will be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is secure, for you will visit your abode and fear no loss. You will know also that your descendants will be many, and your offspring is the grass of the earth. You will come to the grave as full vigor, like the stacking of the grain in its season. Behold this, we have investigated it, and so it is. Hear it, know it for yourself. Then Job answered, Oh, that my grief actually weighed and laid in the balances together with my calamity. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the seas, therefore my words have been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me, their poison my spirit drinks. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray over his grass, or does the ox low over his fodder? Can something tasteless be eaten without salt, or is there any taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are like loathsome food to me. Oh, that my request might come to pass, and that God would grant my longing. Would that God were willing to crush me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off? But it's still my consolation, and I rejoice in unsparing pain. I have not denied the words of the Holy One. What was my strength? What should I wait? And what is my end, that I should endure? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh bronze? Is it that my help is not within me, and that deliverance is driven from me? For the despairing man there should be kindness from his friend, so that does not forsake the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have acted deceitful, like the torrents of wadies which vanish, which are turbid because of ice, and into which the snow melt. When they become waterless, they are silent. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The paths of their course wind along, they go up into nothing and perish. The caravans of Timon looked, the travelers of Sheba hoped for them. They were disappointed, for they had trusted that they came there and were confounded. Indeed, you have now become such. You see a terror and are afraid. I have said, give me something, or offer a bribe for me for your wealth, or deliver me from the hand of adversary, or redeem me from the hand of the tyrants? Teach me, and I will be silent, and show me how I have erred. How painful are honest words! But what does your argument prove? Do you intend to reprove my words, when the words of one in despair belong to the wind? You would even cast lots for the orphans, and barter over your friend. Now please look at me, and see if I lie in your face. Desist now, let there be no injustice. Even desist, my righteousness is yet in it. Is there injustice on my tongue? Cannot my palate discern calamities? It is not a man forced to labor on earth, and are not his days like the days of a hired man? As a slave who pants for the shade, and as a hired man who eagerly waits for his wages, so I am allotted months of vanity, and nights of trouble are appointed me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise? But the night continues, and I am continually tossing until dawn. My flesh is clothed with worms and a crust of dirt. My skin hardens and runs. My days are swifter than a waver's shuttle, and come to an end without hope. Remember, my life is but breath. My eyes will not again see good. The eye of him who sees me will behold me no longer. Your eyes will be on me, but I will not be. When a cloud vanishes, it is gone. So he who goes down to Sheol does not come up. He does not return again to his house, nor will his place know him anymore. Therefore I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. I am the sea, or the sea monster. That you set a guard over me? If I say my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint. Then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me by visions. so that my soul would choose suffocation, death rather than my pains. I waste away, I will not live forever. Leave me alone, for my days are but breath. That is man that you magnify him. What is a man that you magnify him, and that you are concerned about him, that you examine him every morning and try him every moment? Will you never turn your gaze away from me, nor let me alone until I swallow my spittle? Have I sinned? What have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you set me as your target, so that I am a burden to myself? Then why do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust, and you will seek me, but I will not be. Then Balaad the Shuhite answered, How long will you see these things, and the words of your mouth be a mighty wind? Does God pervert justice, or does the Almighty pervert what is right? If your sons sinned against him, then he delivered them into the power of their transgression. If you would seek God, and I implore the compassion of the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, surely now he would rouse himself for you, and restore your righteous estate. Though your beginning was insignificant, yet your end will increase greatly. Please inquire of past generations, and consider the things searched out by their fathers. For we are only of yesterday and know nothing, because our days on earth are as shadow. Will they not teach you and tell you, and bring forth words from their minds? Can the papyrus grow up without a marsh? Can the rushes grow without water? While it is still green and not cut down, yet it withers before any other plant. So they are passive all who forget God, and the hope of the godless will perish. Whose confidence is fragile, and whose trust a spider's web. He trusts in his house, but it does not stand. He holds fast to it, but it does not endure. He thrives before the sun, and he shoots spread out over his garden. His roots wrap around a stockpile. He gaffs a house of stones. If he is removed from his place, that it will deny him, saying, I never saw you. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the dust others will spring. Lo, God will not reject a man of integrity, nor will he support the evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouting. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the tent of the wicked will be no longer. Then Joab answered, In truth I know that this is so, but how can a man be in the right before God? If one wished to dispute with him, he could not answer him once in 1,000 times. Wise in heart and mighty in strength, who has defied him without harm? It is God who removes the mountains. They know not how. When he overturns them in his anger, who shakes the earth out of its place, and its pillars tremble, who commands the sun not to shine, and sets a seal upon the stars, who alone stretches out the heavens, and tramples down the waves of the sea, who makes the bear Orion and the Pleiades in the chambers of the south, who does great things unfathomable and wondrous works without number. Were he to pass by me, I would not see him. Were he to move past me, I would not perceive him. Were he to snatch away, who could restrain him? Who could say to him, What are you doing? God will not turn back his anger. Beneath him crouch the helpers of Rahab. How then can I answer him and choose my words before him? For though I were right, I could not answer. I would have to implore the mercy of my judge. If I called and he answered me, I cannot believe that he is listening to my voice. For he bruises me with a tempest and multiplies my wounds without cause. He will not allow me to get my breath, but saturates me with bitterness. If it is a matter of power, behold, he is the strong one. And if it is a matter of justice, who can summon him? Though I am righteous, my mouth will condemn me. Though I am guiltless, he will declare me guilty. I am guiltless. I do not take notice of myself. I despise myself. It is all one. Therefore I say, he destroys the guiltless and the wicked. If the scourge kills suddenly, he mocks the despair of the innocent. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covers the face of its judges. If it is not he, then who is it? Now my days are swifter than a runner. They flee away, they see no good. They slip by like reed boats, like an eagle that swoops on its prey. Though I say, I will forget my complaint. I will leave off my sad countenance and be cheerful. I am afraid of my pains. I know that you will not acquit me. I am accounted wicked. Then why should I toil in vain? If I should wash myself with snow and cleanse my hands with lye, yet you will plunge me into the pit, and my own clothes would abhor me. For he is not a man that, as I am, I may answer him, that we may go to court together. There is no umpire between us. Who may lay his hand upon us both? Let him remove his rod from me, and let not dread of him terrify me. Then I would speak and not fear him, but I am not like that in myself.
Hi, friend, and welcome to Fear into Faith Global Bible Revival, where we're on a mission to get 1 million people to read the Bible cover to cover in a year. I'm your host, Summer Day, and with me in the studio are Tim and Jamie. Woo!
Hello.
I got that one right.
Yes, you did.
It was one of the easiest ones I've done so far, if I'm being honest, but I got it right. Y'all are amazing.
Cool.
So happy being here.
Thanks for having us.
So excited. Okay, tell the audience just a little bit about who you are, where you're from.
Sure. Jamie and I are both originally from Buffalo, New York. So if anybody's familiar with Toronto,
Wait,
Canada.
you guys know each other?
Yeah, a little bit. We just met on the way in here. Actually, believe it or not. Yeah.
Jesus blind date.
We really hit it off.
Hey, you know what? You might be prophesying something that might happen on the show later. Some people, I don't know.
Could be. Never knows. But so we're originally from Buffalo, New York, and the last 2 years we picked up and moved to Sarasota, Florida. So sun, fun, lots of these palm trees, nice stuff. Yeah. We're about 20 minutes from the coast. We're at the beach frequently, so it's great. It's great. We got
we're married.
Yep, we're married.
Together 9 years.
9 years.
Yep.
But married 2 years.
Married 2.
And we have a little sweet 4-year-old girl named Charlie.
Sure.
And our newest addition.
Oh, yes.
Vinny.
I've seen Vinny.
Yes.
Vinny is a super cute little love.
Yeah. Italian Greyhounds.
Yes. I was like, I could not tell you what kind of dog it is. Yep. Other than it's so cute and squishy.
Yes.
That's right.
Maybe on the last segment, we're going to have to bring Vinny in. It had to be a star of the show.
Well,
I love it. You guys are so awesome. So you came all the way from Sarasota to be a part of this. And so we're just really
we found out, I don't even know if it's been a week since we found out about this, but we were super pumped to meet everybody and be a part of it. And I booked the flight, and now here we are. So
I am just stunned. I have to be honest with you guys. When God was like giving us idea, I never really thought people would jump on a plane and come here, and I didn't think they would do it if within a week. And I thought if they didn't know me, there's no way they would do it. So the Lord is always just blowing my mind on the people that are showing up. All right, so the first question I love asking people, you both recorded your Bible readings today. How did that go, Tim?
For me, I right before I went to the restroom to relieve myself, make sure, take one last look in the mirror, and I said, this is in God's hands. Yeah. I just totally have to remove myself from any real participation other than just showing up, getting in the chair, picking up the book, and starting to read. And what I found is that I was nervous in the beginning, but it melts it away, right? And it seems to do that for me when I just turn things over like that.
I love it. You did a great job. I know you have a little bit of story with your reading.
Yeah. So when I found out what I was reading, I read his and was like, I'm not doing this one. I need yours. I'm taking your reading. And he was like, oh, really? Thanks. And I'm like, I don't care. There's too many names. I studied all the names in my reading. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, we changed your reading. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, because you went after him, and he had read all of your ones you were going to read.
But
So he read all your readings, and then you're like, now what?
But God gave me literally the easiest reading on all 3. So, thank you.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, I was a little nervous because I'm like, I don't know Jamie, but we gave her all the readings, and then now she's not going to do it.
Yeah, I know. I was not excited or happy about that, but I was going to show up and knew that God would speak through me no matter what. And if I stumbled on my words, like, who cares, because I'm human. So,
That's right.
Thank you for reading. And honestly, like, that's what we want. We want people that are just real people. If they stumble over their words, then maybe people are like, oh, I don't have to be perfect to read the Bible.
yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
So good. Well, we also like talking to people just about their just kind of journey, their journey with God. We've had people who were born and raised in the church. We've had people that were not. We've had people that even only came to know God super recently that have been on the show. So I'd love to just tap into a little bit of just that for you. I know you and I got to talk about your story, which is amazing. Maybe you could share just a little bit first. And you go first.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. So I was born and raised Catholic. Participated in a church local up in Buffalo. Baptized, confirmed, everything in between. As the years went on, I think that I found myself like I've heard other people describe and stuff. You sort of get distracted, right? Like life happens, and I think that what I tend to attribute it to is I end up I try to control the situation myself, right? Like I don't allow something else to come in and offer guidance, right? I'm not listening. And so I spent a lot of years in a world where I was trying to run the show, right? And I was trying to manage myself and everybody else around me, right? Myself being both my spiritual self and physical self, trying to take anything that was in front of me to feel a certain way, whatever. I reached out and tried to just grab anything tangible that would fix whatever I had going on inside of me. And this is actually how we met, is we both got involved in some service work for other people who struggled similar to us, with substances and whatnot. And that's really the first introduction to finding a place where I could communicate with something again, right? Where I could show up and have a purpose and feel connected to something other than like my will, right? Like what I want for myself. Like I want new clothes and I want a new car and I want all this stuff, right? But it's like, I really had to take a look through my actions and just through life experience and say, this is not working for me, right? And me running the show is not working for me. And I needed an intervention, from something, right? Something bigger than myself. I needed something bad. And let me tell you this, it happened. Wow. And that was almost a decade ago.
Wow.
So, we've been doing this for a while.
I love it. Well, I know you have an incredible story, so whatever part, however you want to share about all that.
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in a trailer park, alcoholic mom, only child, very lonely childhood, very lonely. Eventually turned into self-sabotaging behaviors and turning to drugs, trying to find myself, and it was just in so much pain. And so I didn't grow up with religion, with God. I had none of that. And so it wasn't something where I was like, are you real? Are you not? It was just like, this is my life and it's horrible. I was living in hell. And eventually, I was 26 years old on the streets using drugs, and I got arrested, 3C felonies, and I went to jail. And it was there for the first time on my own that I prayed to God, and I said, God, if you're there, help me to want to stop using drugs, because I didn't, because my body wanted it and craved it. Yeah. My flesh did, right? But my soul wanted something different. And so that was my soul, right? And that was my first introduction, and it was God who told me to write, "You can do it" on the wall. And I remember doing it in like this pencil, because they only gave you pencils.
Did you get in trouble? Were you allowed to
Oh,
write
for
on the
sure. They were like, you're not allowed to do that. And I was just like, And so I wrote, "You can do it" on the wall in big capital letters, and I read it every day. And I thought if I read it, I would actually believe it. And so I was looking at 7 years in prison, And, that person who was wronged against because of drug addiction did not show up to court, and I was released.
Wow.
Yep. And I got my life together.
How often does that happen?
I don't
That the
think
person just
often.
doesn't
No,
show
I don't
up.
think that's like a thing. You know what I mean? Normally
I
people show
recommend
up to
anybody
court.
try and end up in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try. We shouldn't test to find out. But it's not something that I have firsthand knowledge of, and I'm thinking if you've wronged someone, they're probably most likely to show up. Okay, we're going to take a break really quick. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back right after this. And then that's amazing.
Are you traveling long-term internationally? Moving to another country? How's your furry family member going to get there? You won't be able to just buy them a plane ticket. There's a whole series of processes and red tape that no one wants to sift through. You need a partner. You need Doggone Taxi. We take the confusion and headache out of moving your pet to your new country. We take care of the shipping, the fees, the health permits, and anything else that your destination country requires. Visit DoggoneTaxi.com and get your free move quote today. That's DoggoneTaxi.com.
All right, we are back with Tim and Jamie, and we were talking about how you, I don't know what the difference between prison and jail is. Which one were you at?
Oh, I went to jail. Prison's long term.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you went to jail, and that's when you had an experience with God, and he told you to write "You Can Do It" on the wall. So awesome. And then kind of what was next?
Yeah, so I got out, and this was my chance. This was my shot. I knew it. I had an abusive boyfriend who was also just getting out of jail, which I would later send on to prison for 10 more years because, he was somebody who shouldn't be in society, and I was afraid for my life anyways. But so this is my shot, and I knew it. And so I started doing so many things. I started running and taking care of my health, and I joined a program, for people like me. And this is where I found God. That was an introduction, but this is where I found God. And we would go through a step process. So there's 12 steps.
Yeah.
And on my third step, I've had so many spiritual white light experiences going through the steps. But my first time, I was told to go hit my knees and say this prayer out loud. And I was going to read this, and I was going to read my own prayer that I wrote myself. And I did it. And I just surrendered. I had just been in so much pain and trying to control my life, and it got me nowhere except just in terrible situations. And I pushed away the thought of God and religion my entire life. It felt uncomfortable to me. I was very uncomfortable. And I said that prayer, and I meditated after, but when I had a white light experience, my body felt different. I was different. I was no longer that person after I had begun praying and just said, take my will, take my life, guide me, right?
I remember when I asked you earlier about what you meant, because I was like, what do you mean by the white light experience? You were explaining it as go explain. What did you say?
Yeah, I felt white light go through my entire body, and it didn't leave.
Wow.
I felt lighter. If you could imagine being full of light.
Yeah. Wow. It was
was
permeating
I'm
from
different.
head to toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that was how long ago?
10 years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And just it's almost like just being washed white as snow.
Yeah.
And just in that moment.
Start
Boom.
over. You can start over. Yeah.
So fabulous. You hear about a lot of people that struggle with drug addiction and different stuff like that, and they don't always get that moment. They don't always have that thing where they get hit, where everything's filled with that white light. I just think that's amazing. And I love, too, that you haven't thrown that away, right? You've seized that, and it's been a critical part of just sort of your journey and everything. And I just think that's amazing. And you guys both have such a powerful and inspiring story, because we know there's millions of people in this country, substance abuse and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for being willing to be, vulnerable and share all of that, which is really, really cool. I love you guys were here. Thanks for saying
Yeah.
to the show. Yeah. Well, what do you guys have that you're kind of working on now, or?
I guess I'll just take one step back and add with one of the people that we worked with right around that time, this gentleman, it's probably the gentleman who took you to the church.
You can check out the rest of this interview right here or by going to BibleRevival.tv. And if this show has blessed you, you can help us bless others by partnering with us for as little as $20 a month and help us to expand the reach of this show. We'd also like to invite you to join our Kingdom Discipleship Program, where you have an opportunity to get on weekly Bible Zoom calls with us and people around the world to deep dive into His Word. And you can check all that out at BibleRevival.tv. I'll see you next time, my friend.